Hello, welcome to Scale Modeling, and welcome to part 20 of our Yamato build 1/200 scale battleship. So, in the last video, we'd done all of the main superstructure, all completed, and now we just need to finish off these 25 and 13mm machine guns. Now, they're done. We've finally got them done. So from step 95, which I'll put up in that corner there, you'll see that there's 8, which then become number 58 as a reference, which are these ones here. And then there's 8 more, which are 59. These are just been finished there. And that's it. So now I need to go and mount these on clips and get these undercoated in the Outlaw Paints black primer. And then when they're dry, which only takes about 15 minutes, we'll throw on some Imperial Japanese grey. And then I'll clear coat them and we're good to go to step 96. And step 96 is placing these on board the ship. Some of these go down beside the superstructure and most of them go along the cantilevered platforms on each side of the deck. And they're going to look really, really good. Now they're mixed up a bit. So there was some that we did back in one of the other steps. And those two are they're done. They're already painted up, so they're right. They're number 50. They actually reference of 53. 53 go either side. Is that right? Well, there's actually 2 of them. So one goes. Well, we'll see when we put them in place. All right. So I'm going to go and get all these painted, and we'll come back and have a look, and we can finally get them all put on the deck at last. So also I want to thank everybody for all your comments in each of the videos, particularly in the last video. A couple of people mentioned if I'm going to be doing the rigging, and I will. That's why I haven't attached all that superstructure onto the deck yet. It'll be much easier to do the rigging while it's in a separate piece like that. Also, there's a few other little things. There's some lights on there that needed to be coloured, some red and green. That one of my subscribers mentioned in the comments of the last video, and yes, I hadn't forgotten about them, but they will actually be done when we're doing all the weathering. I'll go back and check on all those little detailed bits, including the vents that were installed. I'll be using the Tamiya panel line wash on those to create that darker look of those vents. There's quite a few of them around the ship that need to be touched up, and then, but the whole thing's got to be weathered. That'll be I'm really looking forward to that. I enjoy the weathering. It really brings the ship to life. But that's a way off yet, okay? Because even though we may be up to finishing just 95 and heading into 96, step 96, we haven't even started on the turrets yet. But after 96 and 97, placing these on the deck, guess what we're doing? The turrets. I'm really looking forward to doing that. We've got a few options of what we can do with those, but we'll talk about them when we get to them. All right. So again, if you're viewing this for the first time, please hit the playlist. You can go right back to the unboxing of the whole ship, my review. We go into all the aftermarket parts and bits and pieces, and you can watch the whole playlist. As I mentioned, we're up to part 20 now. And please give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And don't forget, if you think of something throughout the video, put a comment down below. If you've got questions or suggestions, I read all your comments. And it's great taking on the advice and tips that I'm getting. All right, so yeah, fantastic. And I notice a lot of people are planning on building this that haven't already started, and I'm glad that they're happy they're going to be using my video as some reference, which is fantastic. The thing with me was that not many people had built this ship when I started building it, so I didn't have that ability to go back and look at reference from other people's videos, particularly not in the detail that I'm going into step by step like this. But yeah, so all right, enough talk. I'll come back and we'll have a look at these pretty much when they're all painted up, because we've seen them all painted up in the previous videos, very similar, so we don't need to look at and compare them from primed to painted. We'll just come back when they're all done. Okay, back shortly in your time. Okay, welcome back. So we've got all those anti-aircraft guns all painted up and clear coated, which I've only just done, so I need to give it another probably an hour to dry properly. But here they are here. So these are the ones from step 90, 95. Okay, and these are the ones labeled 58, which were the first 8 we built. All right, they look really good. I'll put some better photos up shortly after we've got them all on. Now, these are the ones 59, which we've got 8 of as well. And then there's just a couple of these ones which were done earlier. These are the 53s. So what we're basically trying to accomplish here is filling all these. All right, so this is where they're all going, and of course on the other side as well. Okay, so what, like I said, I'm just going to let them dry for a bit. They're all just been painted up, or well, clear coated, and then we'll come back and we'll get them on here, and I think they're going to look fantastic. Okay, so I'll be back very shortly. Okay, I'm back. I couldn't wait. I'm just dry fitting them in place. So we've got these two here which actually face towards the front, which I'm glad I checked, otherwise I would have pointed them this way. We've got these ones here which are the 58s. Okay, so we've got 53, 59, 2 58s, and 3 59s will go in here. All right, so this is why we had to label all these, just so we wouldn't get them mixed up, because they really do look all exactly the same. That one doesn't want to fit in there too well. We'll check why on that. That one's in. Okay. 59 is here. That's going to go on there. Oh, there it is. And one more like this. There you go. That's a good, perfectly nice, typical fit. There we go. All right. Excellent. So those are fine. Now I'll also dry fit the other side, and then I'll just glue them all on. Piece of cake. And then what I'll do then is, we also need to put a couple down on the stern of the ship. So after I've got these on, I'll slide the whole thing down a bit, and we'll put the last 2 on each side of the stern deck. Okay, be back in a sec. Okay, so there they all are. Looking good. Gone on, no problem at all. All glued down. So now we'll just I'll just slide this across, and we'll do the last 4. Be back in a sec. Okay, so here we are down on the stern of the ship. We've got 2 locations here and here. We've got our 4 anti-aircraft guns, and they should simply sit in there like that. This one will go there. Okay. Now you'll notice that I've already got railing on here, That's because the railing only goes up to where the supports are for these guns to go on top of, so I knew that they wouldn't be affected and these wouldn't get in the way, so that's fine. So that's on there like that, and the same down there. Come on. I'm going to say last one, wouldn't it? But no, they're in there. Perfect. All right. They're done. They're on. I'll glue them, of course, but fantastic. Okay. So I'll get this ship put back up onto the shelf away, because we're not going to need to access this for a while now. I don't think. I think we're pretty much right. We've done the anchors. The anchor chain's all done. Yeah, I think we're good. So I'll put it away, and then we'll come back to our bare bench and we'll go forward and have a look at what's over the page on the next step. And I'll show you a few photographs I'll take of these up close. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I'll throw a couple of photos up and have a closer look at those anti-aircraft guns. They look really, really nice on there. Finally on the deck. Finally, no more guns. All done. Well, almost all done. So let's have a quick look at this. So we've done 95, we've done 96, 97, they're all on. Let's go over the page. Oh, 98. The turrets. All right, looking good. Now, I'm not sure which ones these are. We've got 5 turrets to do, 2 smaller ones and then the 3 large ones. So, I don't know which is which here at the moment, but we're going to find out. We've got some holes to drill. It says make one, make one. So, yeah. I'll have to be careful because this can be tricky. All right. Now there is some parts on here where they require quite a lot of the photo etch. I'm just checking. I think we're doing the 2 smaller ones first. I see. No. All right. We can wait. So these are the 2 smaller ones that go fore and aft of this superstructure. Okay. So, all right, I need to get these pieces out, don't I? All right, let's make a start on these, eh? Back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So here we are with our L sprues. Now, we definitely have to make 2 of these. 1, 2. There's actually 4 of these sprues. There's another, I could make another 2 of them. I don't know why that is. We can make 4 when there's only 2 on the ship. Maybe if someone else has built this or has any clue, let me know in the comments what the extras are for. Okay, so I had a bit of a look at the instructions here, and I'll pop it up in the top corner here, and you'll be able to see. So the only difference between these 2 at this stage is where the holes will be drilled. All the holes are marked on the inside. So it's simply just get your drill bit to fit that and drill them through in the right locations. They're different, okay? So there's both of these and they're going to be drilled differently. The rest of the instructions there, like parts to be added in step 98, are done on both of the turrets. And then we go over to, well, we're not there yet, but on step 99, it continues with these for further. So what I'll do is I'll take these off the sprues. I'll also take off the other plastic parts that will need to go on there. And then I'll get my drill bits out and get them ready to drill. There's also photo etch, as you can see there. Quite a few bits of photo etch that are going to go on here. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think that's going to look really good, actually. So, all right, let's make a start on it. I'll be back shortly. Hello, welcome back. So here we are with our parts we need. at least up until the point of the photo etch. This is all the plastic parts we need for step 98. I've already drilled the holes, the 3 holes in their location, just using my Icky Sticky drill bits. So it's just basically, if it fits the hole, the mark where the hole in there, then that's the right size you need. It's best to go small. If you need to make it bigger later, that's easy to do, but it should be fine. So they're done. These parts are done. The bases are ready to go on. There's a little round bit that'll go on the top there. This is the inside for holding the turrets, which will sit with these tabs on either side of there. Basically simple to put together. So I'll put this together now. We'll come back before we get to the point where we've got to do some photo etch. There's quite a few pieces of photo etch that need to get all placed on the front here, just to definitely improve the appearance of it, that's for sure. And then over the next step 99, we'll be putting the turrets in. We'll have to have a look at those yet. I haven't looked at them even on the sprue yet, but we do have metal turrets for these. So metal gun barrels for these, all right, which I do want to use. So we'll get to that. But anyway, for the moment, I'll just put these together. We're back in a sec. Okay, we're back again. Sort of halfway through the process of fitting these. These fit on really nicely on the end here. No problem. Little vent sits on the top. No problem. Then I started to work on the base here, where we put these which support the actual cannons, barrels. I'll be using the brass ones that I got with the extras with the deck. So they will go into there. They fit easy, there's no problem. In fact, they're probably too easy to fit. But anyway, yeah, they'll go on there, no problem at all. Little pins through, and they'll be fine. But that's a little bit later on. We're not up to that just yet. But what I did have a little problem with was these little supports that go in here that hold this across the center there. The holes are too small in here, and this doesn't fit. So yeah, so what I've done is I've drilled them out here with, I'll just check what size that was. So that's 1.1 to 2 mil. So 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1.7 is just right. So if you have that sort of size drill bit, it's probably the easiest way to do it. I just ran it through like that. That's all it took. And then it's just a matter of popping it on then. It's still, it's a firm fit. You want that, but it's definitely going to go on. Whereas before, there's both sides there are on. And we'll put them in here now. And fit. There we go. There you go. So it's going to sit in there like that. No problem. We can just make sure they're straight. Probably best to, I wouldn't even glue them onto there. I glue them to this, of course, but don't glue those so that you can move them up and down. And that way afterwards you can position where you want them later. But if you don't drill them out a little bit bigger, they won't fit on the end of these at all. So there's just a little bit of tip for you. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to keep going. That one's practically done now. Other than me haven't drilled it in yet. That's going to be like that. That's going to sit pretty much like that. And there's where our barrels will go in, plus all our photo etch. Okay, looking good. Back out. There it is. So yeah, but yeah, drill them out. Drill those little holes out. Okay, I shall be back further with a bit more progress. Okay, welcome back. So I've done one. You can see there, well, done as in I put the 2 little bits of photo etch on there. I thought just try with the camera down a bit closer than normal and see if we can actually get this to be focused and work for me. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put them on here. There's one bigger, one smaller. Make sure they go the right ones. So here with my MIG ammo, just a touch of that, just going in there like that. And then we'll put another touch over here, like that. Use our wax pencil to pick them up. We'll get the bigger one there, just to there. Smaller one to there. And we just need to line them up, make sure they're nice and straight, like that. And that looks good. In fact, that looks fine. Done. Now these ones here, number 49s are these, which I haven't even test fitted these, but these are supposed to go. Have a look. Okay, somehow on there, like that. So we'll have one connect, one sits there, one sits the other side. Looks simple enough. Looks can be deceiving. Yeah, there's nothing else that's going to be in the way other than the barrels going on with the blast bags. There's something I haven't checked yet, is the blast bags on the barrels. In fact, I think we might have a bit of a problem. Okay. Oh no, we're right. Okay, I see. So what I was doing before was I was testing the barrels up, connecting onto these, but they don't. They connect to the blast bags first. So the barrels have to be cut off the plastic parts, which I haven't even looked at yet. So let me just do a quick test fit. Sprue L56. So here they are here. There's our barrels there. You can see how they're attached and where they need to be cut off. But what I want to do is just see what clearance we have. So there it is there. Cut that off. Don't need that. So that's going to go in there. Like that. Tell you what, let's hope these fit. Oh yes, they do. Okay, that's not going to be a problem. They're not going to come in contact with the photo etch at all. They'll be fine. What I will be doing is chopping the barrels off and putting on my these ones here. Okay, and just checking the length. I would say that they are exactly the same length, maybe a little bit thinner. Anyway, we're not up to that yet. Let's put these on, eh? So again, I will use the MIG ammo glue, and we'll run it just down here. That. And then we can attach this. See that? It's going to go on there. Like that. I guess that's it. Look straight. All right, happy with that. I'll just do this one on here, and these are a different number. These ones were D50s, so I don't want to get them mixed up, and they'll go on both of these. All right, I'll just do those. I'll go feed my hungry birds, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. Fed the birds, so they should be a bit quieter now. So we've got these, they look like railings of some sort sitting on there, both sides done. Now we're looking at doing the actual barrels on here. So what I've done is cleaned up the sprue where they were disconnected off from here. I just used one of the Icky Sticky nano files here, and it just took that sprue mark off really nicely. There's also a seam line that runs around where these join. Now the bottom of them, because of the way they're going to be mounted in there, you won't be able to see, but the top seam line you will. So the simple way to fix that is just use the back of your knife and just scrape it along like this. And that'll take that away. That's all there is to it. You won't see that. I know it's probably too small to see anyway on the camera, but it's gone now. So what I'll do now is I'll cut these off, the barrel off, and be replacing it with this. I've got a 1mm drill bit, which will get drilled in there for that to stick into, and it should be fine. So I'll go ahead and do one of these, and then we can come back and fit it onto the turret. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so bit of a change of plans. I'll put the instructions up for step 99 because that's where we're at now. See them up in the corner there. Now, because these blast bags have to be painted a different color, which I'm going to experiment with, but at this stage I'm probably looking at a deck tan might be best. Then if they're in there, because of these railings and that, are too hard to paint. I wouldn't be able to get into it and paint them properly. So these I'm going to paint separately. All right, so I'll undercoat those and paint them separately. The barrels, I will also do the same thing. I'm going to paint these separately, so I can pin them by where they connect there. I think there's enough there to be able to do that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to paint them separately as well. Now they'll be easy. They'll be the IGN grey. So once they're painted, it's just a matter of touching that into the hole there, and they'll go in there nice and neat. This I will paint before I put these on, obviously. So what I'll do now is we'll move on, because there's lots of railings and ladders and all sorts you can see there need to be put on these before I can paint them. So what I will do is I'll take all of these off the sprue, tidy them all up, get all the excess plastic off, cut the barrels off, drill them all out, get them all ready to paint, have these all ready to paint, and then we'll work on these. So I'll sort of do these in between while we're working on these, because as you can see there's a lot to go on this, and then paint that. So then that'll all get painted up, and then at the end we can attach and push the barrels into their spots, no problem. The other reason too is that if these are connected, right, if these are in here like this and I need to put them in, if I do them all together I can make sure they're perfectly straight. The three of them, I can make sure they're all lined up and exactly at the right angle. Okay, that's the plan. All right, so what will I do now? I will get all these prepared for painting, get all the rest of them cut off, and do that, and then we'll come back now and start working on the second part there, where there's some railing and so forth to go on the sides, it looks like on both sides there. Okay, all right, back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So I've got those barrels and blast bags black coated, undercoated in the Outlaw paint, so that's going to dry. In the meantime, we'll get into this. Now, I just calculated there are 28 pieces of photo etch to go on each one of these. All right. So what I'm going to do is, because most of it is done on both, I'll do both sides. So when they say, for instance, I need D4, which is a ladder here, D4, I'll do it for both. Okay. And I'm doing the, like, around here, there's ladder here, and the D4 on this side, and then on the other side there'll be a different one. It'll be D3, so it's not like two D4s. So you've got to make sure you keep things in order. So we've got sprues. There's two sprues of each D sprue. So I'll take the two ladders off, and I'll do, yeah. So basically, I'll be working on mirror image of both at the same time, just to make things easier, so that when I've finished, I haven't just got one done, I'll have them both done it. Hope that makes sense. Makes sense to me. All right, so what I'll do is I'll start off with the ladders, as you can see with the instructions, which I will put up here. We're skipping the guns for the moment on step 99 because they're going to be done separately. Moving across, so we've got these little rails across and the ladders. So it's got it for let's say this side of the gun, then we've got to do it for that side of the gun, but I'll be doing double, so I'll be doing for both guns. Okay, after that we've got platform on the rear, a railing on the rear, and then we've got railings around the top. When we go over the page, which I won't show just yet, it's getting a bit far ahead of ourselves, remember that we drilled different hole locations in the top of these, and that's because there's two different types of, I guess they're a radar or aerial of some sort. There's two different types, one for each, so that one of these becomes number 60 and one becomes 61, depending which one has that, depending on which one has the different, I guess it's a antenna of some sort on the top. All right, but let's get back to this because this is going to be a bit of work. But I'm looking forward to it. It's not going to be anything too difficult, I'm pretty sure. All right, so I'll get the pieces off and we'll come back with a bit more progress, okay? If anywhere along the line I come across issues, I'll cut in and I'll show you that. If I've got any tips or anything as we're going along, and then I'll just generally show progress as we go. All right, let's get into it. Back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So I said I'd stop if I had some issues and needed to let you know things, and there's a few things I need to let you know. So let me put up the step 99 up there in the top of the screen. So where you see it says make two, well, don't be fooled by that. We do make two turrets, but not the way they're showing, right? So make two is only where they're showing putting the barrels and the blast bags on, all right? But if you continue on, where it has these here, where I was going to do both sides of both turrets, you know, I'm thinking, well, here's this side. Here's just do, let's say, the left side, and then we do the right side. Okay, as you see on the instructions. And then you think, well, I'll just grab the other turret and do the same, left and right. Don't do that, because the other turret is set up completely differently, which I almost made the mistake. This is turret number one of the two turrets. Everything on this page is just one of the two turrets, all right, because they're very different. So when you go down and you put the walkway and the railing and the ladder on the back of this one, okay, that's for this one turret, all right? And it calls it, the circle in that top there, this is turret number 60, okay? which seems okay. All right, so that's turret number 60. And then when you finish that, you can go over the page and I'll bring up the next lot of instructions, number 100. There they are there. And it continues over where you do that little radar thing that I was talking about that sits on top of it. That's fine. Go ahead and you do that. All right, all good. Then you go to the next one, top, and it's saying, still calling this number 60, but there's more railing going on. Well, it's not. I've actually made a mistake. That should say 61 because it's the second of the two turrets, which is what I have here. Okay, so the railings that go on this are different. All right, so the first part's okay, but the rear railing on the back side of this actually curves around on the back here, and there's no platform going on this turret. Okay, so it's quite, you'll see what I mean when you get to doing this. But just take really careful notice. The instructions are not very well organized, and where they label that one as 60, it is not number 60, it is 61. So, and then it goes on to do, you see the strips around, they've actually got the curve, whereas on the first turret we did, they don't have that curve. They're different pieces. All right. And then of course the railings up the top go on, because when I go back to the other instructions and I started building this, luckily I stopped because I was just going to do 2 of everything for both turrets. So this is where I've learnt to always look ahead in your instructions, because I would have quite easily gone, make 2, yep, I'll make 2 number 60s. And yeah, I would have had a great deal of problems trying to rip this delicate railing off. But here we go. So we're at halfway point, I think, of doing the first turret, which is number 60. When it's made up, all I need to do on this one now, I'll put some photos up to give you a closer look of how I attach the railing and the walkway on there. I'm using my myako glue because it's slow setting and it's easier to maneuver the pieces into place. But for the railings on the side here, I use CA glue because I wanted them to stick instantly and not move around. So a mixture of both. When I do the railings along the top here, I don't know how, I will probably use the CA glue because I tend to be able to place the CA glue into more finer, tinier locations, like using my pen here with my wire on the end. I can touch it into the location points, whereas this is a little bit thicker, and even though it dries clear, yeah, it's not quite as neat a job. Running it along that for that railing to go on that back platform was no problem. That was much easier because I needed to position that. All right, so I'm going to go now and do the railings for the top of this. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4, 5. 5 pieces of railing to go around the top. That'll be the last of step 99, where we'll continue over doing the piece on top that sits where the holes were drilled, and then we'll move over to the other turret, which is not 60, it's number 61. The reason I know that is because when you go way ahead in the instructions where it tells you to put these on the ship, it tells you number 60, which goes in one location. Well, actually 61 goes towards, I'm just looking at it now, let me just check, I'll be back in a second. Yeah, I just checked then. So actually I was telling you a bit wrong. So this one is labeled number 60, sorry, 61. Even though it says 60, it's actually 61, because when you go to place it on the ship, this is called 61 and the other one's called 62. All right, so when we go over the page next and we start working on this one, which they call 60 again, it's actually 62. It's all confusing, trust me. But if you jump ahead and look at where in step 106 where these get put down on there, you'll see that number 61, which is this one, faces the forward on the ship, okay, and 62, the other one, faces to the stern. All right, so yeah, bit confusing. All right, anyway, all good. I'll stop talking now and get on with this. And I've now painted the, or actually I will show you what I've done. All right, I'll be back in a second. I'll just reset up around here. Okay, so there's the blast bags, which I said I was going to paint sort of a deck tan. But I found some of this Outlaw Paints Oscam Camouflage Brown, and I think that's come up looking really nice. Once it's weathered a bit and there's a bit of panel wash on there, that's going to look really, it's just going to look fine. So I've painted all those up. So they're just drying, which they probably already are dry. Put them aside. And then I did the barrels as well in the IGN grey, undercoated in the black, and they're all done too. Also drying. Okay, so looking forward to putting those on. But we've got to get these. We got to get these finished first. So excuse me. Let me get ahead on these railings, and then we'll come back shortly. Okay, back again. So we've got the railing all around on the top there, all done. Went on all right. It's a little bit tricky around the back there to get it to reach, but it does fit. So everything's on there. Again, using the Icky Sticky CA glue so it sticks instantly helps a lot. But yeah, it's all on there well. Now, that means we've now completed step 99. So now we go over the page. I'll put it up the top there to 100. Excuse me. And now we've got to put together the little antenna that goes on top. Someone in comments will know what that is. Can you please let me know in comments what that is on the top of there? I'm guessing it's something to do with the directional radar or something. I'm not sure. But we need to put that together and then put it on top. And then that will complete that one. And then we'll go over to this one, which is not number 60, it's number 62. And we'll start putting this together with the photo etch. All right, so yeah, let me have a look at the parts. They're all on H sprue. There's a couple of photo etches on, oh actually, we've got some plastic there as well. Yeah, there's some plastic and photo etch. So let me get the pieces we need and we'll have a look. Be back in a sec. Okay, so that antenna, aerial, whatever it is, and the H sprue is this very delicate sprue that you most likely got in your box wrapped in bubble wrap. Okay, and for good reason. Very thin, tiny pieces on here. And the ones we have to get off are just that. So what I suggest is just be very, very careful. Make sure your nippers, sprue cutters are very sharp, and take them off carefully, very, very carefully. All right, that's what I'm about to do now. I'll take all the pieces I need off for this, and then we'll have a look at the photo etch. Okay, so I'll be back shortly. I'll put them on the black thing here so we can see them. Okay, so fingers crossed. Here we go. Back shortly. Hey, welcome back. So I thought I'd just point out a mistake I've made, not following the instructions. Well, I think it's not following the instructions correctly. As you can see in step 100, which I'll put up top, you can see, we're building this little antenna here, okay? And then planning to put it on top of the piece we're working on. But it turns out that this antenna, as I'm going to call it, is actually for this one. So the holes drilled out on this one for the second antenna we have to build. All right, so this one won't fit on this one, but it will fit on the other one here. So I don't know how, I think way back when we first drilled the holes in the different positions on each one, it didn't really go through in the next steps to tell you that this one is that one. Okay, so all the photo etch and everything that went on this one that makes it different should have gone on this turret. Okay, because that, but you obviously, I didn't know that until I got to this point when I tried to fit this and it doesn't work, but it does fit on here, of course. It's for that one. So it's not a problem at all. All I'm going to do is just put those bits aside and we'll put it on there when we've finished finishing that one up. And then I'll just jump ahead to the second one and grab the parts off and we'll put it onto this turret where it's meant to go. All right. The only difference between the two that I can tell is this is a little bit larger than the other one, but it shouldn't make a difference on the ship. It shouldn't interfere with anything. And as for visually, well, if you don't tell anyone, I won't tell anyone, and nobody will know that these antennas on the top here are the wrong way, on the wrong turrets. But yeah, so just keep an eye on that when you're building. Make sure that that first turret you build is actually the one with the 3 holes that fit this one. Okay, yeah, tricky. All right, I will continue on. It's coming together well. I'll just pop those aside. I won't put that on there yet because I've still got railing and all bits and pieces to do on that. And I'll grab the pieces for that second antenna aerial and we'll get that on there. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So we've finished it. So I've got the antenna there on, or the aerial on. It's quite fiddly, it's very small, especially getting that triangular piece in between the tripod. That tends to spread the legs of the tripod a little bit beyond the location of the holes in your turret. So it's a little bit of manipulating to get it back in. And even when you do get it on the turret, you'd realize that if you drilled the holes where they were supposed to be drilled, they're not actually straight. Now this tripod doesn't actually sit straight on there. It's a bit of an angle. I'm guessing that's the way it was. It's only slightly off, but it is off. As for the top part here, I've put that on straight and it's fine. So that's it. Other than this being on the wrong turret, it's fine. Everything is on there. It all looks good. Our platform on the back's good. Just got the stairs. I haven't bent them yet. I'll leave them until I have to. It's very delicate. They're one of those things where bend it twice, they'll snap off. Yeah. But yeah, it's looking really nice. So now we'll start work on the other turret, which means I put all the other pieces. Oh, careful. I've put all the other pieces in here for that first antenna. I might as well put that together now and put it back in there and then start working on all of our photo etch on here, the railings and so forth that we did on this. I don't think there's as much because that turret doesn't have this platform around the back. So there's not quite as much to go on that. But yeah, looking nice. All right, so I'll get onto it and we're back again in a sec. Okay, welcome back everybody. And we've completed them all. Step 100 of these turrets are done. So other than the messing up with the aerials on the roof, it's all gone together really well. One thing to take note is on that second one, that piece of railing you see running around here is all one piece. So my tip for that is to just start with one section and attach it with CA glue, let that dry, then slowly bend it around, attaching as you go. That's the easiest way, and you'll get all that done. But yeah, they've come up really nice. I'll I'll put some photos up in the corner there so you can get a closer look. And I'm going to go and paint these now. I'll put some Outlaw Paints black primer on them, and then let that dry, and then we'll come back and have a look at them with the IGN grey on there. Now I might just mention, I want to give a shout out to another channel I watch, of a Japanese channel called Plastic Model Myako. Okay, I'll put a picture of her up the top there where her channel is, and there'll be a link in the descriptions. She also is doing the Yamato, and actually up to the same part that I'm up to. So as I was putting these together, she just released her latest video, which included her putting these together. Now she's doing the Yamato with a lot of extras parts to it. You'll notice there's extra rivets. She's actually adding rivets to these turrets and to the bases. There's a few more bits of photo etch from another extra kit of stuff, so there's more ladders and stuff like that, but definitely worthwhile going over there and have a look at her channel and see just another version of Yamato being built, and it's quite fun to watch her working on it. Anyway, I shall be back with these painted up. Okay, be back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So we've finished them, and here they are. Here's one of them, completely done. I've got the barrels in there along with the blast bags on there, looking really nice. And that's that one. And there's the other one here. Oops, looks good too. There it is. I don't usually show it, but I'll put a bit of video up in the corner here of me actually spraying them with the Outlaw Paints. As you can see, I had the black primer on them. I did that first, and then just giving them a simple coat with the Imperial Japanese grey, and you can see how easy that goes on. Just beautiful, you know. And yeah, that's it with my little spray booth. So they've come really well. I'm going to very carefully snap my little handles off the bottom here that I no longer need. Fairly sure I don't need them anymore. Just hold it by this here. There we go. Go there. These are the only parts that have no photo etch that I can really hold them by. There you go. All right, there they are. Now they do, I'm pretty sure, yes, look at that. So we can raise and lower them like that. Hopefully they both do. Yes, happy days. I was worried a bit of glue might have got where it shouldn't have in there, but it's fine. All right, they're done. I'll put up some photos again, closer shots of these you can have a bit of a look at. And that's it. We're not going to put them on in this. We're up to the hour mark of the video, so we're going to end it here. In part 21, we'll most likely mount them on the ship and on the bases that we've already built up and stuck on the ship. And that's it. So thank you all. The next video will be the turrets, the main turrets we'll be working on. So I'm looking forward to that part, that's for sure. So once again, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the notification so you get notified. Don't forget my live stream every Friday. We did have daylight savings end here, and it was actually the hour change, but we're going to go back to the normal time, so it'll be 5 a.m. Australian time. But if you got notifications clicked, you should get notified 30 minutes before that live stream goes up. And if you're available, come on over and watch and have a chat with us. There's quite a few of us get in there and talk models and everything else. All right, so please comment below if you've got any comments, tips, suggestions, thoughts. Put them all down below there. And don't forget to get over there to Plastic Model Myako and go check out her her channel. The link will be down below in the description. Alright guys, thanks a lot, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.
Just